You campaigned as a fighter. What is that going to mean in the Senate?
We have a lot to fight for. I mean, our country is we have so many issues at home: the open border, the drug epidemic, crime, the economic outlook for our country, the national debt, the the ability to make sure that our country survives for the next generation. I think we need more fighters in the United States Senate who are fighting to get our country back on track. And that's the approach that I took for 8 years in the House. That's what I sold to the voters. I would take the same approach that I took in the House to the Senate, and I'm ready to go.
Years ago, when I asked what's the difference, biggest policy difference maybe between you and President Trump, you'd said it was maybe spending.
He gets it. $35 trillion national debt, and today $1 trillion that we pay every year on the interest of the debt. Think about that. $1 trillion that could go to building schools, roads. That's more than the entire budget of the Pentagon, and we spend it to pay the interest on the national debt. That's something that we have to control. President Trump gets that. The Doge effort to create efficiencies in the government, I think, will create a lot of opportunities to cut government. There are big opportunities and I think efforts underway to cut and slash the size of the government so we can bring down spending.
So let me just set expectations correctly, because I think math works differently here than it does back home. If we're $20 trillion additional debt in the next decade, and instead you manage to lower that to 10 trillion, is that a win or is that not enough?
I think you got to bring down the actual size of the federal government, cut the government, bring down the debt. You're right. In Washington, people when government grows less than what it did before, they call that a cut. That's not a cut. You got to cut the actual size of the debt.
Give me one other priority that you can do in the Senate that you may not have done as effectively, I guess, in the House. Like,
Well, I think it's the scope of it. One of 100 versus one of 435. So your vote automatically means more. And when you look at my work on the Armed Services Committee, how do we make the Pentagon less bureaucratic, more focused on actually training to fight and win wars and project American strength? In the Senate, I'll have a bigger role, a bigger voice, a bigger opportunity to fight for issues like that. One senator can make a bigger difference.